welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us as we look ahead to attempt to break another long-standing record this weekend, and hope we can turn it around. We have Mick joining us. First of all, how is things going, Michael?
All good, my friend. All good. Are you?
Yes, very, very good. Very, very good. Looking ahead to this weekend. Steve's back as well. How are you going, Steve?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, everybody.
And Tom's back. How's it going, Tom?
All good. Just trying to work out what flag you've got behind you. Maybe I'm late.
You don't know?
Is it a Curacao flag?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it not bluer than that? That looks like one that you get off like Temu.
It is pretty blue. It don't really. I think the problem's my camera more than the flag.
Right. Yeah. So your shirt looks blue. You know that your shirt's blue.
Very blue.
Yeah.
Take the stars off it. It looks like a pair of prison slacks.
Yeah, it does actually.
It does. Lots of people with the issue is Graham Lindley, Kaylee Wilson asking about Nombe, Hugo, everybody that's injured. Steve's with us, as is Darren Cook. Nick Newsom's good evening, Millers. Another big shift ahead. Lazar says, good evening, lads and lasses. Mark Gamble says, up them World Cup Millers. Steve Grundy are all with us tonight, and loads more people are with us as well. Though, Steve, what chances do we give England in Perth this weekend?
As much chance as me copying off this weekend, probably. No, seriously, we have a puncher's chance, I think. You know, they're missing a couple of bowlers. I've never seen, what's his name, Doggett or Daggett or wherever his name is, and I don't know the guy who's opening for them either. So we'll see, you know, when I get up for my gentleman's visit about 4 a.m, turn it on and we're already 57 for 7, then, you know, it's always the first ball. You've got to watch the first ball because, I mean, Crawley hit 4 from the first ball in the last series. I've seen Armisen hit first slip with the first ball in whenever it was 2013 or 12 or something. So, yeah, fingers crossed. It's going to be a great series, but it's going to cost me loads of sleep.
Yeah. Hopefully it's worth it.
Yes.
Kelly Pops says, best chance we've had in years. Yeah. Right. We've had that. We'll shelve the cricket chat for now. Let's talk about tenuously Rotherham United related. It is still Rotherham United related, Tom, but the Curacao flag is here for a reason. History was made this week. The first time ever a Rotherham player has ever qualified for a World Cup. Whether he's here next summer is another bit of history we'll talk about in the summer. But a great moment. He didn't play in the game in this game, but he certainly played his part in the qualification process. And what a moment for him! What a moment for him, and to be connected as a club to that story, because it's the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, with the new format, there's more and more countries that are getting through that you never would have thought. I mean, you know, Scotland got through last week, so that's another one that, you know, you never really think get through, and then they do. But yeah, I mean, it's good for them. I just hope that he's fit enough for Saturday and he's not too drunk or hungover or whatever it may be. Because if I was him, I think I'd call a sickie in and stay out there for the next 2 to 3 weeks to celebrate it. Because it's quite the achievement. But yeah, as you said, I mean, he didn't play the game, but he's done his bit for them, and hopefully at the World Cup he can do a bit more and start for them, and you know, maybe show the world stage that he's got something about him, and we can get a pretty penny or two for him. But yeah, on a personal level, it must be great for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come on to the kind of implications for Rotherham United financially maybe later on. But Steve, I bet you watched Rotherham a bit longer than most of us. Did you ever think you kind of see the day where a Rotherham player goes and qualifies for? I know, like Tom's right, the expanded tournament, fine, but still, this is kind of something I thought when I was a kid, this was just beyond what I thought ever happened for us.
Yeah, it's fantasy land. Let's face it. I mean, there used to be 16 teams in a World Cup, and you were never going to get any of our players in there. I mean, the closest was that we always hoped that Alan Lee might do it for when he was playing for us, you know, through Republic of Ireland. But I can't actually think of that many more. That, I mean, you got Ogbene was with Ireland, but they never really got that close to qualifying. I mean, as Tom said, Scotland got through. I mean, there's Cap Verde got through. I mean, that's just an island with lots of sand on it. So it is a kind of a weird thing, and I'm desperately delighted for him. But 48 teams in a World Cup, I know it expands it, but that's going to be 12 groups, isn't it? So there's going to be plenty of football and plenty of irritation from various partners. But there you go. It's tough, isn't it? It happens every 4 years. But yeah, delighted for him, Johnny. Do you think he's going to be back? Because I listened to Amshaw's interview earlier on, and he kind of implied that he'd stayed to enjoy himself. Yeah. Or maybe he's going to get back today and then suddenly be on, not today, tomorrow, and get on the pitch on Saturday.
Yeah, I got that feeling as well. To be honest, if I was Matt Amshaw, I know we're desperate for players, Mick. We obviously are desperate for players. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. If a Johnny Martha needs to stay in Curacao for a little bit of a celebration, just let him have a weekend off. We all could only dream of being in a Johnny Martha's position. Just let him kind of celebrate.
Just enjoy it, yeah. I mean, it was quite sweet that he spent a lot of time messaging his current manager.
Exactly.
Didn't he? And I thought that's a really nice thing that, he sees Matt as somebody to talk to, tell him about his nerves and what have you. So, excellent.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Reception in Curacao yesterday as well, Mick. So, from a Rotherham perspective, he's unlikely to be available, but at the same time, just let the lad go enjoy himself for this weekend.
Yeah, well, we said that last time, didn't we? And he came back and had a storming game. So, we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? I would have thought that he'll, if he is back for this weekend, it's going to be a late one. So we'll see. But I'm really pleased for him. Really, really pleased for him. And yeah, I accept that there's a certain amount of devaluation going on in terms of the World Cup and the number of teams, but that does not take away from the fact that it is a World Cup. And it doesn't really matter how many teams are in it, whether it's 8 or 48. If you qualify for it, it's a fantastic achievement, and yeah, I'm well pleased. I think it's great for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Reese says they're the blue wave is what the Curacao fans. Do we know what a Curacao is? It a Curaçaoian? Do we know what that is, or is that beyond our knowledge?
Oh, it could be tough on that. Bear in mind, Monte Carlo's Monegasque. It could be.
Yeah,
it could be couldn't it?
Yeah,
that's Monaco's Monegasque.
Yeah, there you go. Same thing.
Keep up. I've never heard of Curacao before Johnny Martha came to us.
No, I haven't.
My ignorance, but apparently
Curaçaoian.
Curaçaoian. They're mostly Dutch players, aren't they, from Dutch origin? Yeah. But fantastic. I mean, Steve McLaren's resigned, hasn't he? So he's cost somebody his job.
That is funny. That is really funny. Sorry, Big Steve McLaren, but it's very funny. Curaçaoian. There you go. Moving on to kind of the selfish financial aspect of things, Tom. This is quite big for the club financially. So there is a compensation package that every club gets if your player goes to World Cup. At the last World Cup, it was $10,000 per day that your player is at the World Cup. That is set to increase. FIFA haven't announced exactly what it's going to be, but that is going to increase from this World Cup. So he may well leave in January, Tom. But if he does leave in January, as a football club, you have to factor in that into the price tag. So let's say it's there for only 10 days. That's $100,000 that we're essentially entitled to. It will be more than that. So wherever the transfer value was in the first place, this qualification has bumped that up by maybe just 100K, maybe a bit more, but it's certainly bumped the price up.
Yeah, I mean, you get like $250,000, I guess, 250K roughly. Yeah, be good. I mean, I can't see them getting any further than the group, so I don't think they're going to get the full 30 days or whatever it is. Feels like 30 days anyway. Yeah, I mean it's good. And it's not just good for the club, but it's good for him as well because he gets the opportunity now to show what he's like on a global stage, which I think is just what you really need from a player who is what we see week in, week out as a very, very good League One player, possibly an excellent Championship player. So it's something that I'm looking forward to actually watching the Curaçao games now.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming, did we? Looking forward to watching Curaçao play at the World Cup. Yeah, it's something like £270 million is set to be distributed amongst the players that play at the World Cup next year. And little old Rotherham get a little bit of price tag in that. To add another kind of factor, and we're looking way down the line here, Steve. This is looking way down the line. But there's another argument to say, no matter what happens in January, you say, right, Martha, you're staying with us till the summer. Go and play in the World Cup. And you never know what somebody like Martha could do on the world stage. And if he goes and has a stormer at a World Cup, that doesn't add 150k to your price tag. That adds millions to your price tag if he goes to the World Cup and has a stormer. So there is an argument to seriously just whatever happens in January, right? You stay in January, but in the summer, we'll see what you can go from there. It's a big decision to make if somebody does come in January with something.
Well, I'm sure said, hasn't he, that it's still the case that, and it's understandable, our club is always open to big offers. They're never that big, but there's always a trigger that makes them go. I mean, I've found it a little bit puzzling that over the last few weeks, we've started to talk about people like him and Denzel Hall possibly leaving in January. They've had solid starts and they've shown real potential. But both of them are still very young and they've still got to prove themselves. I know that Arjani's been away with Curaçao and performed well. I mean, he scored that free kick, but he was on the bench the other day, probably because they needed to be more defensive. In terms of January, I'm crossing my fingers that nothing daft happens. I mean, if you take the excitement out of it, I don't think anything daft will happen, frankly. I think he'll be with us throughout the whole season, because if we start dripping these players out in January, unless somebody comes in with 3 million or whatever it is, then we're stupid, because we're getting a really good set of players together. I mean, Martha's got raw talent. His decision making is not great at times, but by God, he's skillful. So I'm hoping that he's still here. I don't think he'll leave in January, because I don't think anybody will risk the amount of money that it will take for us to let him go, frankly. Not at the moment, anyway.
Yeah. There is obviously the chance for Denzel Hall to still go to the World Cup. Jamaica have qualified for the playoffs, and I think they've drawn New Caledonian in the playoffs. So I think Jamaica have got a good chance of making it to the World Cup as well, assuming Denzel Hall is still fancied by the new manager, whoever that may end up being. For Jamaica. Josh Cresswell, has anybody ordered a Curaçao shirt yet? Not yet. Let's wait to see if he's here in summer yet. It went as far as a £13 flag for me at this point.
Depends whether they do XXFB size, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. Chris Page says, don't shoot Paul Douglas. He goes on a free. Yeah, maybe. I also want to enjoy this. I'm backing on to still Rotherham United related, but not international related. Darren McAnthony has obviously got his own podcast. If anybody doesn't know about this,
he answered.
He has, yeah. Just he obviously when he talks during the normal day, he doesn't hear his voice enough. So he wants to record it and listen to it back, because that's the kind of person that he is. But this week we had a message from Scott who comes on the podcast, and he listened to it. I don't know why he listened to it, Scott, but anyway, he listened to it. And Tara McAnthony was talking about when Peterborough tried signing Peter Kioso from us. And basically, we refused to deal with Peterborough. Whatever. Tara McAnthony basically said that they offered extra 250k, whatever it was. And Tara McAnthony said, I think we could have offered anything to make Rotherham United accept an offer for Peter Kioso from us. And I know we rightly get a lot of stick for Tony Stewart and Paul Douglas, Mick. But that is right up my kind of street. The way they acted at the time with Bang Out Road, and for us to kind of say, no, sod you, big fan of that. Huge fan of that.
Yeah. 100%. And anybody that sticks one up Darren McAnthony, then has got to be worth. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. What an ego.
Yeah, and now he's there. Now he's back there. Precursor's finally made his way back to Peterborough. So good luck to him. Jim Wilkinson says Martha plays for Rotherham next season in the Championship. Watch this space.
No,
we'll see. Derek Vimy says, yeah, he needs an FB shirt as well. Right, Tom. I'm going to come to you and Steve in terms of the Luton game and kind of how it feeds into this weekend going forward. How did you see the weekend action? Obviously, bearing in mind the injuries that took place, particularly in the second half as well.
Yeah, I was there. It was it felt very stale, and it was a stale game. And there's a lot of discourse on Twitter between the Luton fans and Rotherham fans of it being made to be a very stale game. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was made to be stale. I think the way that Luton play is like Russell Martin on steroids. I think it's just absolutely. It's like how he sets up his teams without any killer instinct, and I feel like I'm not being too harsh when I say that, but there were probably 3 chances in the game, and they all fell to Luton players more or less. And each time it was when one of their players took a risk and ran at us, and we didn't know how to deal with them. So, and that happened on 3 occasions, and they got into 3 really good positions from it. And it surprised me so much that they didn't do it more. When you say that a team set off, and look, we did set off them in that second half. We let them play because we knew that they weren't going to do anything. And I think that, it came from good tactical management by Hamshaw with what he's got out on the pitch, and also the players stuck to the plan so well. I think last year, if we would have set up like that, I don't think we ever would have, but if we ever did, I don't think the players would have had the discipline and the nuance to sort of see it out. Whereas with that game, I don't know about anyone else, I never felt under pressure. I never felt like the team were under pressure in the slightest. Having said that, though, I don't feel like we looked like scoring at any moment in that game. There was like one Hugo chance where if he got his head on it, he might have scored. But other than that, and that's a half chance at best. Other than that, we didn't look like we were scoring. And with the injury issues, you can kind of say, yeah, fair enough. And you play Josh Ayres up front, and he ran a lot, but he didn't do much. And yeah, it was a tough game to watch because it was super stale, super slow, and yeah, it didn't feel like what it'd been amped to be, which would have been of the 2 informed teams in the league playing against each other. It didn't feel like that, and it gives you that other perspective of how different we play when we play with Nombe. So he's going to be a bit more of a miss now. But yeah, I think super stale game.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things that we'll never know, Kevin. This is the hypothetical question, but if Nombe plays that game, I'm sure reckons that Nombe scores because there was space to run into behind Luton, and I can't not agree with him. We were a Nombe or a 90-minute from Sharif away from probably winning that game, because Tom's right. Luton never hurt us. The chances they made were kind of half chances, and we had to do what we had to do in the second half. But I think we were 1 player away from winning that game. I think it was there for the taking. We just couldn't take it to him.
Yeah, Hugo getting injured was crucial. Sharif also getting injured was also crucial because, bless him, Josh Ayres is a very big lad, but he's not mobile. And he asking a youngster to play one on his own up front, he just was completely lost. So that reduced his second half to just being very solid, 2 banks of 4, in fact, a 4 and a 5. And I thought we were excellent. And I agree with Tom. Luton just didn't get it. They needed to turn us. They need to play a bit longer and turn our defence, But they didn't do it, thankfully. And usually I'm very nervous about watching Rotherham defend, but I felt quite calm. But we simply didn't look like scoring. And that's what worries me a little bit about this weekend, is that we don't have any forwards as such. And Nombe, yes, I agree. If Nombe was there, it's hypothetical. I think we would have stood a really good chance of getting a win out of that, because Luton were never going to score, frankly. I mean, it might have been if we did score, they might have changed their tack, but they never did.
Mm.
I don't know what Wiltshire's trying to do to open up teams. How they managed to beat Stockport 4-0 the week before, I don't know. But yeah, I was really impressed again just by the steeliness of our side. Just fantastic. We just didn't threaten though.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm just thinking now, you look back to some of these early games in the season, you look at the Wigan game where we kind of threw away a lead, the Cardiff game we were wilted, Doncaster one goal we wilted, Bolton in the Cup wilted, Wimbledon 1-0 up wilted, Stockport home 1-0 wilted, Mansfield away 1-0 up wilted. This team at the minute, we will lose games, don't get me wrong, but at the minute, this team has that will. It has that will to not wilt at the minute. And Matt Amshaw deserves a lot of praise for that, obviously. But you have to then praise these players. This bunch of players, 2 months ago, we were all questioning, have they got the heart? Have they got that bottle? Have they got that spine to do something? And even if we can go back to the 10 games of this run, but if you look at that 45 minutes against Luton, they've got the will to do, almost die for each other. They've got that brotherhood already, it seems, and that'll stand us in really good stead for the next, at least this season.
It's chalk and cheese, isn't it? Yeah. From what we've got now, from what we had at the beginning of the season, there's the desire, the will, the battle, the grit, the graft. It's all there, and that's been brought together by what Matt Amshaw and his team have built on the training ground, the culture that they're building at the club, the culture they're building within the team, within the players. It's what we had previously when Matt Amshaw was here under Warney. It's the same thing. And I don't think you can underestimate it. You can't underestimate that togetherness and that. I don't know whether camaraderie is the right word. It probably is, but it can bring average players up to good players. It can bring good players up to excellent players. When they play as a team, we haven't played as a team, quite frankly, for 3 years now, and I think that's been the issue. And in order to do that, all he's done is what they did before. They made them a team on the pitch and off the pitch, and that's what you got in that second half against Luton. To be fair, I don't think they needed any of it because Luton weren't going to lay a glove on us, were they? I don't think they ever. It felt like they never intended to. We're just going to play pretty passes around back and everybody will think we're great. It was like Steve said and like Tom said, we were never really in any danger.
No,
I think the most dangerous part of it was when one of their players had a bit of a speculative volley from angle in penalty area in second half, and that it could have gone anywhere. As it happened, it went eye wide and Anson, which weren't really a surprise, were it? Given how affected they've been all game. So. But yeah, that team spirit is building now, isn't it? It really is. And that team spirit of a team that aren't even at half strength, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's fair. Kelly says, Matt, I'm sure there's so much rubbish to sort out on and off the field. It was always going to take a while, and we're just beginning to bear fruit. This is just the beginning. We could be in for some fun times, very fun times. This is just the beginning. Steve, it's been a little while since we spoke, but talk to me about your favourite player, Dan Gore, because he just keeps getting better and better week on week, and he's just a joy to.
He's a lovely footballer.
That's what I said.
As I signed in May last year and said we've got to get him back. I'm now fearful that Man U might take him, but I listened to the debate he had on whenever it was, Sunday or whenever. He's just so good. I mean, I've listened to Kean Spencer's interview today, and again, another guy that he speaks so well. And he was talking about him, and he says he's feisty, and he says, "Yeah, off the pitch, and off the field, and off the pitch is why he's so funny." So, God help us if we lose him. But whilst ever we've got him, I shall enjoy him. I just hope he stays fit. I hope the Man United leave him here for the rest of the season because he's the engine room. And Kean Spence is another one that's really impressing now. So, if Gore goes at some stage, Spencer's there, and there's also a window to add. But, beautiful player. Love it.
Yeah. If Dan goes here by May, we will be probably in a decent position with the table, I suspect. But time will tell on that one. But, Tom, this Dan Gore and what Keane Spence, what Steve just mentioned, fit into what is our strength at the minute and what I think is what you always need. If you're going to have a good football team, you need to have a really strong midfield. It's just how it works. You can have a 20-goal season striker, or you can have a really, really good defence, but you need that engine room. And we've got that engine room. Even when Joe Powell came back into the middle a few weeks after us slating him a little bit for lack of performance, it comes in as a great performance against Lincoln, and everybody else. Sean McWilliams came back into a really good performance on Saturday as well. This midfield is really starting to turn, and Matt Hamshaw's summer signings to kind of bolster the midfield. It's now justified because that is definitely our strongest area.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it. I really like Drew Yearwood, and he doesn't get a sniff at all, ever. And that's not because he's bad, but because those people in front of him are just that good. Spence and Gore are genuinely two of the best League One midfielders in the league. Yeah, I stand behind that. I regret it immediately, and then stand behind it. Yeah. Gore definitely is, which is a shame because you can imagine he won't be ours much longer, as Steve mentioned. But hey ho, enjoy him while he's here. But you're right. I mean, to have not only the depth that we have, but the actual how they play in unison is great. Players do a job when they come in. It doesn't get better than that midfield too. And you look at Hall on the right side. You don't find many better wing backs, out and out wing backs than him. Just need to shore up the left hand side, and that midfield 4, midfield 5 is excellent. It's probably one of the best, if not the best, in the league. And before the season started, you wouldn't have said that because all of these players were sort of unknowns in a lot of way. Even Gore was a bit of an unknown because he'd only played 3 times for us. Once before that, he looked good in those games, sure, but he is another one who's been fit all season. Let's not forget, and considering how angry our fan base got at him last season for being injured, it's just those midfield 4, midfield 5 are just they're the bet. They'll win you games. They can also lose you games if they're not playing well, but luckily these guys are on super form. And I think Spence is actually a big deal with that because I think Gore plays a lot better when Spence is next to him, and vice versa. I think Spence does a lot of the legwork that you don't see. Gore runs a lot, but a lot of that legwork that Spence does is super. He is so quick along the ground, and he's super good in a tackle. You wouldn't back him. You would back him in a 50-50. So if we can shore up a left wing back and sort of get some fit strikers, then we might be in with an outward shot of the playoffs. But still early.
The P word.
It's already been mentioned like 5 times in the past two recordings.
And don't forget, we're not mentioning Josh Benson here either.
Yeah,
who's arguably, if sort of rumor is right, better than the other 2 on his day when he's fit. Caveat that with when he's fit. He's not getting a sniff. He's fit and he's not getting a sniff.
Even Liam Kelly comes on for the last 10 minutes. I'm sure there's a lot of League One sides that would want him in their squad. He's not got the legs anymore, but his experience and sort of know-how of the game is pretty good for the younger ones in that squad as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Newsom pointing out we are only 6 points off the top. We can get in the top 2. Yeah, really, really congested this time of the season, which allows you to make those runs like we've made a run from second bottom. If you keep it going, it does allow you to find yourself in a good position. View comment, Josh Casper says, Gore is too good for League One. He presses like Rathbone and McWilliams, passes like Barlasser. Imagine if he could add some goals as well. Yeah, absolutely. Terry Femi says, he's a brilliant player, as in Gore, but one man doesn't make a team. No, that's true. That is very, very true.
It does help.
It does help. Very much helps. Please do, first of all, before we continue, make sure you have subscribed. You haven't done so already. Now less than 45 away from 2,000 subscribers. We're only a month or so to Christmas, and I think we can get 44 subscribers before now on Christmas. So if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. Also, I don't think there's going to be a scout report this week. I was meant to record one before we started recording, but there was heavy traffic on the M4, which stopped our Reading friend getting to his laptop in time. So I think that's unlikely to happen. But keep your eyes peeled if it is.
Have they still got face on? Because I called them out a couple of years ago.
How many COVID? Oh, that was brilliant. If anybody's not seen that, it was so good. Mick spent about 2 weeks before we played Reading saying that Reading deserve basically to get relegated because they cheat in the financial fair play rules. And then they asked for a guy to go on their podcast. So we sent Mick. And one of the first questions he asked was about, so what's this about you wanting us to get relegated?
It's a good job social media didn't exist when they broke Darren Garner's leg in 2000 and whatever it was, 1 or 2. I was very anti-Reading for a long time after that. Bourgeois.
So yeah, good job you're not going on Saturday, Mick.
Yeah.
Right, Mick Newsom rightly says on the last episode we forgot to do the headline competition for the Luton game, so I've kept them, and we're going to do it now. So you can have your pick. Steve is in here as well. So we've got Mick Newsom says, "Go blimey, you are good, Dan." Which I like. Simon Thors says, "No shooting in Luton as the Millers grind out a point."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Richard Connor says, injury-free strikers needed. Please contact Mr. M. Hamshaw. Steve went for courage at the Kenny. Courage start with a K. This is a better written down headline than me saying it. Mark Gamble says the ref's mad as a hatter.
Oh yeah,
okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Chris Tether says singing in the rain because it was a terrible weather at the weekend, obviously. And Paula Rose says Hammy's heroes halt the Hatters. I like a bit of alliteration.
That's so good.
Tom, would you like to pick a winner? Say that again.
I say it's starting to take off. There's some good ones there.
I like it. It's good. I mean, I really enjoy it. I forget to do it on the Sunday show when I'm meant to, but I do enjoy it. Tom, do you want to pick a winner?
Which one's Kev's? No, I'm kidding. I like the last one's really good, and I like the Mad as a Hatter one. I think the Mad as a Hatter one I think was quite good because I think that was the main talking point of the game. If I'm being honest, Mad as a Hatter is my one. Yeah,
fair enough. Well done to Mark Gamble. We can always trust Mark Gamble for a good one, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's always got a good one. Right. This happiness has got a bit much for me, so we're going to start talking about some injuries now.
Yes.
Ross, here comes the Ross Burberry hate chat.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. Let's start with as positive as we possibly can be, Mick. Jordan Hugill might be available. And for me, the positive for me, if Jordan Hugill might be available, the way that Hugill plays and the man that he seems to be is Jordan Hugill is going to play on Saturday. If there's a 50-50 chance Jordan Hugill's playing, Jordan Hugill's going to play himself through it, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's whether they'll allow him to, but he'll tell him he's 100%, won't he? That seems to be the kind of bloke that he is. And to be fair, and I don't mean this in a smart ass way, it doesn't have the issue with sprinting and stuff like that. He's not a sprinter. He's not a runner particularly. So he might be able to carry it for 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, he'll start if he possibly can, can't he? Won't he? And we can't really blame Ross Burberry for that, can we? Or are we going to do that as well?
Well, he rolled his ankle, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we all saw that. So it's definitely not Ross.
Well,
I agree with Mick. I think don't. I think that as long as the swelling's not too bad and the swelling's gone down, I think what they'll do is they'll shove an injection in it and they'll strap it up, really, to give it a lot more support.
Yeah.
But I agree. If there's any chance that he doesn't go against medical advice, he'll play.
Yeah.
Because he makes himself available, and we haven't got any strikers. He'll know that.
You see, the thing is, if Ben were here, what Ben would say is, he should have trained it harder.
Yeah.
That's what Ben would be saying right now. I'm just saying, for balance.
Has Ben ever twisted his ankle or rolled his ankle?
He once broke his wrist, and I gave him so much
okay.
sympathy. I told him that he should have been training his wrist a bit better to protect himself from breaking it.
No comment.
Josh Castle says he'd do 60 and then bring Josh Ayres on. I suppose that the difference with Josh Ayres this week, Tom, than last week is, first of all, I think we can all agree he's not ready for league football necessarily. But for him to come on last week when he did was a complete surprise for everybody. So I think there would have been a lack of preparation on Josh Ayres' side, understandably. Whereas this week he's going to have to be a little bit different because we might be the only fit striker available. So if Josh Ayres does come, and I expect to see a slightly better performance from him, I agree it's probably going to be 20 minutes, half an hour at the end. But I think these circumstances will probably stand Josh Ayres in good stead if he is called upon on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, he offers you what Hugo offers you, maybe just a bit less experience at it. He's definitely bigger. And you know what? He won his fair few flick-ons against Luton. But having said that, their number 5 was just a monster. Like Anderson, he used to play for Barnsley. He's just a bit of a... You don't get much past him in the air, let's say. On the floor, it's a different matter. But in the air, I don't think it's tough to... It's tough to beat him in the air. And Ayres did a few times. So I don't know what Reading are like defensively, who their centre-halves are, but he's a big lad, Josh Ayres. He looks 6'4", 6'5". He's got a leap on him. He looks, like he got a bit of meat to him. So he might do a better job against these sort of defenders. But yeah, what he offers is more or less the exact same as Hugo. But you're right. If he's training to come on or training to start, then it might be a bit better for him on Saturday. But other than that, Martha might not play, but you can see Martha starting ahead of both of them by himself. If that's the case, it might just have to be. He offers you something that completely different. He's not going to win any flick-ons or headers, but he does offer you a bit more mobility in the sort of channels and sort of pressing wise. So who knows, right? We don't know who's fit, but yeah, you can see at least Hugo making a cameo if he's fit, and Ayres making a cameo if fit. But you're going to have to argue that one of them is definitely starting, or you just shove Douglas up there and he can be our newer Dauphin that just plays wherever he's needed.
Yeah, true. Nick Yusuf, we didn't think that Hamish Douglas was ready for league action a month ago. Look where he is now. That's a very, very fair point. Absolutely is. Just guess says twisted ankles are no joke. He got an avulsion fracture from my ankle twisting. Is avulsion the right word? I said it right.
You pronounced it right. I don't know what it means, but
no,
sounds painful.
It sounds painful.
It definitely sounds painful.
That's our medical advice.
If we don't have Hugo available, Steve, and like I said, from what I'm sure today, it probably is a 50-50 by the sounds of it. What do you do? Is my question, because this is the big question. We could all try and be a bit fancy and try a false 9 or whatever the case may be, but it then becomes a real problem for Matt Amshot of trying to work something out, isn't it?
Well, first of all, I'd pray, because I'm going, much against my better judgment. I don't know. Again, listening to Amshot, he said he's got a bit of a plan going on. I don't know what his plan involves, frankly. Guessing it might end up being something funky. We might end up with Benson up front or something daft like that. But again, I kind of agree with Tom that if Martha was not coming back from Curacao or Jamaica or whatever, I'd have expected him, if Hugo's not fit, to start up front. I don't think, really, with all due respect to Josh Ayres, that you can start him up front. He looked like a little boy lost on his own. He needs somebody to play off. So he'd need to play, in my view, with Hugo if he chooses to play 2 up front, which he may well do if Hugo's fit. Apart from that, I'm not a tactical master, so mixing and matching different players. We'll have to see what he comes up with, but he hinted that it's definitely been working on a plan. So it'll be fascinating to see. We've just got to try and score a goal. If we remain solid at the back, yeah.
It's not necessarily a blessing in disguise, Mick, that Sam Nombe is injured, but when these things happen, it forces you as a manager to think a little bit differently. It forces you to do something that you wouldn't have chose to in the first place. So, although this is not far off a disaster, Nombe being injured and Hugo and Sheriff being injured, it may benefit us in a couple of months' time when we need to change something up. We've got this plan to fall back on. Whatever this plan is, whether it is Benson or whatever the case may be, there may be a long-term benefit of having to try something a little bit different.
Well, the bigger picture, there's a definite advantage to it from a management point of view, because it's a development stage for the manager and his team. They're absolutely in the doldrums in terms of availability of players. They've got to adapt. They've got to work their magic. They've got to do something different. So it's part of their development as well, isn't it? It will happen again, whether it's when they're at this club or another club. They will be in a similar situation where, they've got no pegs to fit in quite a few empty holes, kind of thing. So, yeah, it's not great, obviously. Nobody wants it, but longer term, I suppose, if you're clutching at straws for positives, then Matt Hamshaw's not. He ain't daft, He clearly thinks deeply about what he's going to do, and or they as a team do, and they clearly discuss it. They will come up with something. I'm confident. Whether it'll work or not is another matter, but there will be some fix in there one way or another. And don't forget, our strikers are not necessarily the ones that are scoring the goals.
No.
So. And also, arguably, not even involved in creating them either. Once they do start scoring, well, we should be laughing. But yeah, it's a problem, but it's not end of the world, is it?
I don't think so. No. Chris Taylor says there's a KLM flight leaving Curacao in 5 minutes to Amsterdam. Let's hope a John is on it. Yes,
fingers crossed.
Big news. That's brilliantly informative. Chris Taylor, thank you very much. I agree. Harry says, "There's Jack Holmes. Would it worth Jack Holmes? Obviously, more as an attacking player. Maybe put him up there with some support. Yeah, that's certainly an option that we've got in there as well. Tom Holmes should be available for the squad, whether he starts or not. You've got to be careful. You don't want to play him, and I know he'll be desperate to play against his former club, which I think will be the first time against Reading. But you've got to be super careful with somebody like Tom Holmes who's just come back from an injury from that. I just want to touch on something that I'm sure talked about in the presser, Tom, in terms of loan signings. He was talking about January transfer business, but he talked about players moving on. And he specifically said not only does that mean permanent players, it means loan players, because we aren't essentially not getting value for money for the minutes that they're playing.
Yeah.
That's only Sharif and Tete, I think.
So because he's not going to send down a ball back, is he?
Well, exactly. Yeah. So what I tells us is there is a problem with Sharif. Whether it's Everton or not, there's a problem with Sharif. And we all know that Tete's injuries. So he's quite publicly, surprisingly for me, kind of saying we're sending back already in January. I was really surprised to hear him say that so blatantly.
But it's not a surprise though, right? It's not like he's come out and said, "Oh, we're sending Dan Gore back because he's too good." I get it. I get where you're coming from, but it's Tete. As soon as he got that second injury, or third or fifth, whatever it was, you can tell. And when Hamshaw was speaking about it, you could tell Hamshaw knew he's probably not going to play for us again. He said, "Oh, I'm really gutted for the lad." He seemed really down about it, just because it already seemed like the pieces have fallen into place, and that him and Cardiff, is he on
Cardiff? Yeah.
Had spoken with each other and just said, "You may as well take him back. We'll pay his wages up until Jan, but we don't want him back," sort of thing, because he's injured until mid-Jan Feb. So I reckon it was a done deal then. So I'm not too surprised by it. The more senior one, I guess, and that just means Raggett, Kelly to an extent, those sort of players who were consistently getting injured for us, they're going to get shipped out as well. So yeah, I think Sharif is a bit more of a contentious decision because, my God, does that man get injured a lot? But he offers you that natural goal scoring ability that not even Sam Nombe offers. You know, Atete didn't offer it. Hugo doesn't offer it. Nombe offers it based on his pure ability to get into those areas, but Sharif's the only one who gets into positions where he'll score. What was the one against Lincoln? He was super unlucky. He scored 2 in like 5 games for us. If he can keep fit, which I think Hampshire would want to take a risk on and gets 10 games on consecutively, he could be a proper handful and a proper goal scorer for us. I mean, he came off the bench against Lincoln and could and should have scored 2. There was times against Bradford when he should have scored more. He's just such a goal scorer that I can see him being more of a gamble, whereas Atete, I think, is a lost cause at this point. And nothing against him, but I wouldn't. I'd be more surprised if he came back in Jan.
I think the problem with Sharif is that A, we can't keep him fit. B, when he was running on Saturday, he looked as though he was not as quick as he was before because he's probably worried about breaking down. And 3, Everton have got him on a real tight leash. To the extent where you're only playing for 30 minutes this game as part of his recovery, and he's neither use nor ornament. Didn't we put him on and then had to take him off? Half an hour later. So I get what you're saying, Tom. I think he got me quite excited when he first started. He is a natural finisher and he's going to be a really good player. But is he the right person now, given his physical fragility and our evident lack of money? Because he's going to have to do some wheeling and dealing in January. That's why he's being so, in my view, reticent to say we're going to go into the out of contract market. Don't get me wrong. If they suddenly find somebody out of contract that they think is going to be great, they'll probably get him in, or not even great, but useful. But yeah, I can see some swilling around going in. I think both Atete, I agree, is gone, and I think Sharif will probably get gone as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we're a different prospect for players wanting to come to the club, Mick. I think in August, if you've got an option to go to Rotherham United or somewhere else in League One in August, you probably I won't go to Rotherham because I've seen what happened last year with Steve Evans. You've got this young manager I don't know anything about. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad? We just don't know. Whereas now in January, you say, if I'm looking at Rotherham United, I'm going, well, look at what's happened to Dan Gore. Look at what's happened to Ajani Martha. Look at these other players that have come. We are suddenly, the finances don't change, obviously. But we are, for me as a player looking in from the outside, Mick, I think we're a much more attractive proposition to come either on loan or permanent.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. And I think come the summer, it'll be even more so. And that's what we've been crying out for. We've been crying out for this for the last 3 or 4 years. Make this club somewhere that's attractive to decent players. And however they've got these players in over the summer, Johnny Martha and Denzel Hall and Dan Gore and all these other players who have come, Benson, Spence, they've got them in, and they're going to be, they're going to be bringing people as well. They're going to be, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I've completely lost my train of thought.
What you're trying to say is that they are an advert.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll be talking to their mates. There's networking going on, and they'll say, yeah, Rotherham's a good place to come.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened under Warney. Barlaser was always telling people, it's great here.
Yeah.
So I got what you were saying, mate.
Thank you.
I got what you were saying.
Ed's not working at all today.
That's a good bit of collaboration. Well done, Well done, everybody. Jamie Wilkins says, let's go back over to the Dutch league. Yes, we won't be doing that in January. Assuming Denzel Hall and Johnny Martha stay, we won't be doing that because of work permit issues. You can have 2 elite ESC, whatever they're called. You can have 2 of those in a year. So next summer, because these 2 players will have either left or will have played enough to get a work permit, proper work permit, we can then do next summer. In January, that's unless one of them leave, we certainly won't be doing that in the January window. But they might leave, might both leave. You never know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. With those there. Sorry. Can you see any changes defensively, Tom? Tom Hums might be available, but it is a might. The news is pretty positive on the other guys for 2 or 3 weeks' time. But at the minute, Rafferty, Douglas, and James, they've barely put a foot wrong over this run of games that they've played together. So I assume you're like me, very, very confident of those playing probably pretty well.
Yeah, your only concern is if James is fully fit, but if he's playing through the pain, then it's only a few more games until the rest of the centre halves are fit. So if he's fine with it, keep it going. But that's the only thing I'd say is if James is injured, maybe swap him out for Holmes, but that's too much of a risk. So I'm with you. Keep it the same. In fact, keep it the same all the way through. I think that midfield's pretty sorted now. Powell left wing. Gore, Spence, McWilliams, and Hall is pretty bog standard now, you'd say. Yeah, too much change can kind of disrupt this flow, so it's better to keep it the same, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's your positivity levels going into it, Steve? Bear in mind the lack of strikers and the lack of defenders and everything else that comes along with it. Are you feeling like this could be a game that we can go and get another 3 points, or are you going worried because of the injury situation?
As I said earlier on, if we can defend as a team like we have been doing, then we've got to get a couple of chances. Because, I mean, you can have my prediction now. It's going to be a 1-0 win to us. And that's where I'm looking. I'm trying to be positive, but deep down, we don't win at Reading. I've been there 2 or 3 times. I went to the old ground when Rodney Fern scored and we drew 1-1. That's about as good as it's got. Every time I've been there, we've got gubbed. So, but there again, we beat Barnsley after umpteen years. So, yeah, if we can remain as solid as a team as we have been, then I'll give us a puncher's chance. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Just to put some numbers on our record at Reading, because it is really, really, really bad. The last time we won at Reading was 1977. That makes it 19 games at Reading without a victory. Obviously, they've only moved to Majeski. Well, what was the Majeski Stadium relatively recently? So 0 wins at their new stadium as well. So yeah,
I think we might have spawned a couple of 0-0s, haven't we? Or something?
Yeah, a couple of draws.
Yeah.
But look at last year with the refereeing decisions that went against us as well. And we've had a few other ones at Reading in the past where we've really struggled in terms of really unlucky decisions as well. So look, let's wait and see. But what, like you mentioned, Steve, there's one record a few weeks ago, broken. It's not far off a similar record, is it? So I back this team. You got to back this team, haven't you? They're just so easy to back at the minute in terms of supporting them. So Jamie Wilkes said Peterborough beating Stockport 2-0.
They are. I'm looking at it over here. 6 minutes they scored.
Yeah.
And then not that long before half time. He's going to Peterborough won't be down there very long.
No. This league's wild. This league is wide open this year. Absolutely wide open. Right, last bit before we go into predictions is Ref Watch. The referee this time is Alan Young. He's only refereed us once before, and that was the Bolton win last season, the 3-1 home win against Bolton. He gave us a penalty, which we don't say very often. So,
which was a penalty. Should have been sent off the lad, mind.
I can't remember.
It was when Will got tripped up when he was about to shoot by that big spud Sanchez. Not Sanchez, Santos.
Yeah. Santos, yeah. So there we go. Might be a good ref. We'll see. I'll not get too excited.
No, we don't.
Right. Score predictions. Let's move on. So if anyone wants to go and let us know who you think is going to win. Steve has gone for 1-0. Off anybody in particular's backside, or just a steady 1-0?
Well, probably mine, frankly, but I'll be there. No, it's probably going to end up being a 25-yarder again, because that's the sort of goal we score nowadays, isn't it?
True.
Mm.
That's true. Yeah.
Might be
I
right.
am
Be
going to
true.
go. I'm going to go for the same prediction that I think the Ashes is going to be, and I'm going to 3-1 to us on Saturday.
That's a massive call. That is.
Yeah, that's
on
huge.
both fronts.
2 massive calls.
Yeah. What the
Wow.
hell?
It's going to click for everybody. Mick, what do you think?
I'm going to go same as Steve. I know I shouldn't really copy other people, but I do. I can see us sneaking. I can see us sneaking a win. The way that we're playing at the moment, defensively we've been reasonably strong. I don't want to tempt fate by saying all this, but I'm going to do it anyway. We've been reasonably strong, and we've got the likes of Thomas Holmes coming back and so on. So that could only get stronger. The issue is obviously scoring goals because we haven't got any strikers. But like I said earlier, they haven't been scoring them anyway. So yeah, we'll sneak a 1-0. I think we'll sneak a 1-0 and keep this run going. That'd be great.
Okay, what do you reckon, Tom?
I honestly think 1-0 as well, but I'm going to go a bit different and say 1-1 because I think it will be. I think it will be a draw. I just don't know whether it's 0-0 or scored, so I'm going to go 1-1.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We have Jerry Wilkinson going 2-0 with a Gore and Spence. Yeah, Gremlin says 1-0 to the Millers. Chris Taylor says 2-0 to the Millers. Paula Rhodes going for a last-minute Benson free kick again.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll all take that. Steve's saying 0-0. Harry's saying 1-0 to Reading and 3-1 to Australia. Harry's getting a temporary ban from the Happy Clappers Club. Like that. Martin Miller going lose 1-0. Can't see us scoring. Rob Dixon, the Rinson repeated last week, giving everything, and they now have world's most boring manager 0-0. Chris Newshy was a 1-2-1, and Chris Wright 1-1. We forgot about the subplot, haven't we?
Liam Richardson.
What?
Not really.
I can't not mentioned it.
What the
Isn't it?
Nah. I mean, if
all right, let me put it another way.
the Rinamoto joined.
Rinamoto as well, yeah. If you're Liam Richardson, I don't think he has anything against us fans. I think fans treat him pretty well, actually. But if you're Liam Richardson, Mick, are you not telling me he's super highly mega motivated to get one of Tony Stewart?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. But you can't polish a turd, can you? And it's only been there a short space. Well, he's only been there a short space of time, hasn't he? He's not had a great amount of time to, as he proved with us, that he can't do that. He's going to take some time to get him up to speed. So we'll be fine.
I think we could do a Lewis Wing, pulling a fetlock, hitting one over the bar.
Oh God, Lewis Wing as well.
Lewis Wing as well. Yeah, a couple of supports in this one. Yeah, let's wait and see.
Listen, like us earlier in the season,
haven't played for 60.
Like us earlier in the season, they're where they are in the league for a reason. Like we were, So
true.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. He says. I'm starting to be a bit more confident. I can't believe this. I'm getting a bit
19.
worried.
How many games without win? 19, is it? Something?
I think so. Yeah. 19. Yeah.
I was 16 the last time we beat them.
Mike Miller says remembers it. It was a foggy Tuesday night. Dick Havin, Patrick.
Dick Havin,
yeah. Flipping heck.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
There you go.
Tremendous.
Yeah, they haven't played for 16 days, by the way, David at Reading. They played the Thursday before the international break when they beat Stevenage at home, which was obviously very good result for Liam Richardson earlier. So is that a good thing? He's had 16 days to drill his ideas in, or is it a bad thing because they're not playing games? Are
they?
So
yeah, not playing games, I think, is the issue there.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Right, done. Anything else you'd like to mention, fellas?
I think so.
Need
to get a bed. Need to get a bed so I can get up for 2:00.
Correct.
I knew you'd cave for that.
Yes, get ready for 7 weeks of lack of sleeps and miserable.
Oh God! And I've got a full day tomorrow. Fortunately, I'm working from here, so I can watch from when I get up until whenever it finishes. But I'll be having to work whilst the last 3 hours are on.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Really, really.
Come on,
really
Joffre. Come on. Win the toss. Pull them in. Smudge. Court. Root. Bold. Joffre Archer. No.
I will take it. I will take it.
Sounds like the dream you're going to have later on.
And Manus, he's going to go the same way.
Before we finish, Mick, let everybody know about Lee McMahon and the gig that's coming up in 10 days' time or so.
Yeah, 29th of November after the Wickham game. Don't forget, get your tickets before Sunday. There'll be a draw on the podcast on Sunday night to win a couple of signed copies. Lee didn't say that, did he? But I'm stitching him up for it anyway. He'll sign them, I'm sure. Of the Millermen EP. So yeah, get your tickets as soon as you can. See tickets and or LPMC Music website, lpmcmusic.com, I think he said.
Yes, it's in the show notes as well. So if you're listening or watching, if you go in the notes for this episode, you can see the link.
Genuinely, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. He is fantastic live.
He is very good live. And also, I've also listened to one of the other acts, the Tivolis, as well as some of their music this week. And I've really, really enjoyed some of their music as well. So not only is Lee McMahon very good, you might get a taste of a decent up-and-coming band as well. I haven't listened to Shock at the arcade, but I'm sure they're good as well. Mick will be there. Tom will be there. Again, they'll sign anything you want. Literally anything that you want.
Nobody wants our signatures, let's be honest.
You don't know.
Mick mentioned bare skin, didn't he?
He did. He says he's
Mick, round the tattoo parlour the day after.
Right. Let's get on that. Kelly Posters, can't wait. Bring on the Aussies. Absolutely. Let's finish on that. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. We've really enjoyed this. We'll be back on Saturday evening. That'll be an instant reaction of the game, obviously, at Reading. Then we'll be back on Sunday for a full review of the show, full review of the game, not the football game, not the show. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe. Like I said, we're less than 45 away from 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully, you will keep subscribing if you haven't done so already. Give this video a thumbs up as well. If you're watching live, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not watching live, give it a thumbs up as well. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, you can follow, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, whatever it does allow you to do. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tom.
Good.
We will see everybody next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious, but brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. Wood's got round the back, and Richie Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favor, drop me off in